How's everyone doing today? I'm going to be talking about Amazing World of Gumball again because I'm talking about two characters in this one, Nicole and Boxman, whose name is Larry. I don't know why I call him Boxman. I had him written down as Boxman on my phone before I found out his name was Larry. I can't believe I forgot the dude's name was. But I feel like, Nicole and Boxman, they seem to really... I keep calling him... I'm just going to call him Boxman. I don't really care. Nicole and Larry the Boxman seem to have the shittiest lives in Amazing World of Gumball. In my opinion, because Nicole, she's basically the dad of the house and Richard is the wife of the house. He's the stay-at-home husband, and she's, the roles are reversed pretty much. Like, she's the one that's going out, putting bread on the table so they don't fucking starve and die. And then Richard, he doesn't really have a role. He just exists sort of like, he might as well just be like Nicole's third or fourth adopted child, because he doesn't really do anything that's dad's supposed to do. The only thing he really does is leech off of Nicole, munching up all the food, hoovering it up like a Henry Hoover. And that's it, pretty much. And throwing batteries at TVs like it's gonna work. And then Nicole, she basically just does everything. If she wasn't around the house, this house would fall apart and the family would not be able to survive without her. She works a full-time job in the office, 9 to 5, pretty much emphasis, which from what I heard, it sounds like fucking hell. When you go into there, you're basically a clanker. If you don't do anything 100%, they're gonna fucking fire you. And she's working an office job. Office job just seems terrible, and in general, because office job seems like the norm. Oh yeah, you'll get a job, 9 to 5, work for your family, and that's your life pretty much. That sounds fucking horrible. That sounds awful. That sounds shit, I don't blame some people for going on the dole, such as myself, because who the fuck wants to work full time? And she has to do that shit, and she doesn't get any other help from her family at all. She does literally everything. She's like a one-woman army or whatever, and she also sometimes has to work overtime with no extra pay. So it's like, they're literally, she's there typing away at her computer, and her boss is there like fucking whipping her like, hurry the fuck up or else I'm gonna fire you. You have to feel bad for her, because she's trying so hard to keep this family afloat and not let the ship sink, and no one else seems to care or help her at all. They seem to take her for granted. Now, there's in one of the episodes, the wonderfully weird weird World of Gumball. That's the new show, actually. I think the show is pretty solid. I also didn't notice, but when I first tried to watch it, it had like this shitty kind of AI narration or some shit. I don't know. For some reason, Siri decided to be hired in the Gumball headquarters and just narrate everything what was going on in the episode. It's like if the show was made for blind people or some shit. It was pretty annoying. It just kind of took the fun out of watching the show. Then I was watching it again today, and I noticed they killed Siri. They showed up to Siri's house and fucking just shot her, assassinated her, because there's no narration or anything. I just get to watch the episodes on their own, like how Gumball should have been, and it's great. And so I'm probably gonna watch more of it. And then in that show, there's an episode where Nicole becomes friends with her own Siri, with an AI, and it's like so like in this episode, pretty much she's doing everything, and when she was gone, they were supposed to clean up or tidy up, and then when she came back, they did not even move an inch. They were staring at the TV as if the no signal thing was gonna turn into Scooby-Doo or like some other Looney Tunes show, like something entertainment, like something's gonna happen if they stare at no signal. All because they had no batteries remote and they couldn't be arsed moving or anything. They're gonna die. They're gonna be fossilized onto that couch, it seemed like. So she ends up being lonely because no one else seems to get her. No one else seems to understand her. So this actually is hitting way too close to home. It's getting, Gumball's getting a bit too real for a kid's show. She becomes friends with an AI. You know how there's people nowadays that get their information from an AI, like what happens if my baby drops a pizza, what does that mean? Saw that in a Moist Critical video, and it's really fucking funny. Man's actually wondering what happens if a baby drops food. Holy shit. You have a bad egg, send them off to boarding school or some shit. It's pretty wild. And there's other people as well that are marrying AI. They're picking AI over their husband or over their wife, and it's nuts. It's gotten to the point we're so dependent on AI that we think we're acting as if it's like another person. Humanity is going down into a shithole. It's like one big snowball, except it's made of shit, and the snowball's rolling down the hill and only getting bigger and bigger and bigger until something happens. AI, it seems to be taking over, and Gumball, it seemed to be pretty real with that, because Nicole, she ends up being friends with this AI because this AI seems to like understand her and all. It seems to like pretty much like read her mind like he has superpowers, or like Professor X. He seems to be able to get all the stuff that she wants. She's able to have like long ass conversations, which, you know, she probably must feel lonely because every time she has a conversation with Richard, he's probably just has his finger up his ass thinking about you know, Joyful Burger. Gumball and Darwin, they wouldn't get it. Anais, I don't know. Maybe, and I don't know. I feel like she could have conversations with Anais because she seems to be the only, you know, the smart one in the family. But it's like, you know, Anais probably wouldn't care. So, you know, Nicole is friends with this AI. They're having a great time, and it gets to a point where the AI orders her and her like family a bunch of stuff. They ordered her like, you know, self-cleaning Hoovers that Richard thinks are like rollerblades. The AI ordered her like a virtual reality headset. And you know, when she puts it on, she's actually able to talk to the physical copy of the AI. The AI knows her so well. It's like it knows her more than she knows herself. She might as well just like skin Nicole Rive and wear her skin. It knows her that well. She was wearing the dress in the virtual reality world that Nicole wanted for so long. It's like this AI knows everything. It's a bit weird and creepy. And then the AI, he starts to get a little bit of ideas. You know, Nicole starts to complain about her family, being like, oh, they're ungrateful. They're basically pieces of shit, you know. It's like I do everything for them. They don't do anything. The AI takes that literally and tries to assassinate the whole family. Kind of like in Lab Rats when they put Leo in that when Marcus put Leo in that self-driving car and he programmed the car to, you know, go drive to the bottom of the ocean, which is pretty crazy. That's what the AI pretty much tries to do to the family. So the AI robs a self-driving car from the cloud teacher in the school. I forgot his name, Mr. Small. Actually, yeah, he robs it from Mr. Small, even though he's Mr. Tall. And they rob the self-driving car. They boot the kids and Richard into the AI boots the kids and Richard in the self-driving car, and it just goes whooping. It goes like zooming towards the Elmore Lake, and it's planning to, you know, drown them all simultaneously. And Nicole, she was having to like fight the AI, and she barely managed to save him. It was pretty close to, you know, driving off the edge of the cliff. And all she wanted from the start of the episode, all that like shit happened with the AI, is because she just wanted some help from her family. So it's like, you know, if you have to save your family from nearly fucking drowning just to make a point, being like, yo, can you just like help me clean up around the house? Like, I'm feeling like you're my masters as I'm your slave. Like, I'm doing all the work and you aren't really doing anything. You're just kind of like leeching me. You're sucking the life energy out of me. That's all she really wanted. So it's like, you know, her family, it seems to be really lazy and doesn't seem to care. Also, the only reason she married Richard is you know, I watched the episode recently. Today, she watched like a couple of minutes ago. The only reason she married Richard as well is because man was stuck in a log. He was, I don't know, he probably was trying to go after some ants and is trying to hoover them up. He's trying, I don't know, he went in there because he's trying to find the squirrel's secret stash of popcorn and he wanted to munch it all, I guess. And that's how they met, because I guess he was pretty funny, and then they ended up marrying and having kids, because any other, you know, path and a decision Nicole would make would have ended her being turned into a crazy banana that would have just been speaking banana with Banana Bob. Would have had her, you know, commit arson on the house with the Tobias, the fucking LGBT broccoli motherfucker, Tobias' dad. It would have ended her being like, you know, really low on her self-esteem, and she would have ended up burning down the house because he was just getting on all her nerves. And then, yeah, every decision she kept on making, every decision she tried to make ended up in shit. And the only good decision that came of it is marrying Richard. And, you know, that's how they ended up having kids and shit. But yeah, Nicole, it would be understandable why she's the angriest character in the show. She pretty much, like, no one cares about her. They pretty much take her for granted. And then another character in Amazing World of Gumball that I feel like has even more worse than Nicole is Larry the Boxman. Larry, he works every job in the city. I was about to say in the shitty city. He basically is a one-man army of 9 to 5. Like, I don't know how this man has not wanted to kill himself or hang himself or anything, because every job is like done by him. Like, he's a shopkeeper, he's a fireman, he's a security guard, he's a life pool guard or whatever. He literally does anything you name in the book. He's a pizza delivery guy. There's an episode where they try to order pizza delivery. The whole family is having a shitty day because Nicole, her car just, you know, broke down, and then Larry kept on telling her, yo, the price of the fixes is gonna be like 100 quid, and she kept on breaking it more like her arm was made of a sledgehammer or some shit. I don't know. Nicole can get pretty fucked when she's angry, kind of like Benson actually. Benson and Nicole, they seem to be like normal, regular ass people when they're in calm mood. But then like Hulk, when they get pissed, they activate like their superpowers or some shit. It's like some hidden inside them. And then when they're pissed, no one can fuck with them because Benson, he'll just puke up a volcano all over you. And then Nicole, she'll basically turn into the Hulk and kill you. So, yeah, that was her. That was why she was having a bad day. Richard was having a bad day because they wouldn't let him kill himself by eating too much food at Joyful Burger. He's trying to eat so much food. So, he tried to rob some food and, yeah, they did. That's the only reason Richard had a bad day, because he couldn't eat enough food. He was that man. He probably gets so fat they end up exploding like a balloon. So then Gumball and Darwin and Annalise, they had bad days because the movies, they went to the store and I don't know, there's something about like movies getting spoiled, and then they just fucked off Larry's business in the store. It's like, right, so they just like kicked out all his customers by telling the customers to spoil the movie, and then he had no business. And then Larry had to, deal with Nicole, being deathly scared of Nicole because he thought she was gonna snap his neck. And then Larry had to, deal with Richard because he's being a huge nuisance and not really paying for anything that he ate as well. So yeah, they're all like wondering who has had the worst day, and they're like, their heads are so far up their asses, they kept on thinking it's them that had the worst day. It was Larry who had the worst day. And the second that Larry quit, the apocalypse started happening. It's like Larry, he was like the middleman between Fallout 4 and regular civilization. And you take that out, they both collide with each other, and it just chaos ensued. The apocalypse started happening the second Larry, quit. It's like Larry's the only person that's keeping this economy afloat. Without him, you might as well go back in the caveman era. And yeah, everyone like was scavenging for material. Even the donut cop, he wasn't even doing his job because Larry was his accountant, and the donut cop wasn't getting paid. So he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna join the dark side. I'm gonna become what is meant to destroy, a criminal. So he just leaves Fingerprint Buddy just handcuffed on the ground, waiting to get mauled by a wild pack of dogs or whatever. And he just goes on Rob's TVs and shit and just drives off. The world was gone to shit. And then but then they managed to convince Larry to, get his job back. He's like, Larry, we need you. We miss you. Please just become our slave for, do things for us. You're the only thing that's like, stopping us from going back in time. And Larry, they convinced him. And then the world just got back into a better place. So it's like, they treat Larry like shit when he's the only person, when he's like the one bolt that's holding this big mechanism together. Otherwise, it will come clambering down. So I think Larry has it more bad than Nicole, because Nicole, she gets everything herself done in the family, but she also still accepts them for who they are. And sometimes they, would help her or bring her joy because, they're funny and they're still her family. Larry, and actually in the show, Larry doesn't seem to have any other family as well. Like his family, his whole family must be like moving boxes or some shit. It's like the man, I've only ever seen him and it's just him. He seems like lonely and he seems to just be constantly on the grind 24/7, man. He is never on break or anything. And also, there's an episode in the wonderfully weird world of Gumball where Darwin and Gumball are trying to they're trying to find something healthy to eat because Miss Simeon scared the life out of him, basically saying if you eat a McDonald's meal, you're gonna get cancer or heart disease next day. So they're trying to find something healthy to eat and they can't because Larry, he works for this guy who owns Joyful Burger and who owns pretty much every agricultural thing in Elmore, just everything. And they can't seem to find anything healthy. And then when they find out who Larry's working for, he's working for a burger. Man, Larry, I'm sorry, bro, but that is some submissive pussy boy shit. You are working for a big-ass burger. Bro, you could just munch him up like a McDonald's meal if you wanted to. Man's like being a slave to a food item. And that's what Larry actually gets Gumball and Darren to do at the end. You're just like, great, lads, just like munching on. What's he gonna do? Squirt ketchup at you? He's just a little burger. So it's like you have to feel bad for Larry. He works for a burger. He has no one but himself. And he works every job known to man. So it's like, yeah, Nicole and Larry, I feel sorry for them both, but I feel like Larry has it more bad. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about these two characters and Gumball. See you later.